Eugene wanted to trade in grey New York and the mob life for the sunny life and the retired life down in Miami. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. Should Tony, though, should Tony have let him go? Or should he have forced him to stay? We've got the question here. 73 votes on the matter. Season 6, Episode 1 of The Sopranos. If only Eugene had waited an extra day and Tony would have caught a bullet and then Eugene wouldn't have had to worry about him. Well, Comataz, Tommy, baby. But 68% have voted for yes and 15% for no. What do you make of these numbers? Is Tony a big bad evil bastard? Or is he a great guy for wanting to keep the mob together? Because Eugene is a top earner.
Yeah, Eugene's a top earner, but I mean, come on, he wants to leave. Shouldn't Tony respect that? Plus, he gave Tony some watches, he gave Tony some money. At the end of the day, they're supposed to be a family. In some sense, shouldn't Tony care about what Eugene wants to do?
But he made an oath.
I mean, he did, but at the end of the day, it's like, if Chris wanted to leave, would Tony feel any differently, do you think?
I think it depends on who. I believe, actually, when Chris took his oath, Eugene got his at the same time. That was back in season 3, episode 3/4. In that time, I think it was 3. So, I mean, Eugene and Chris, it's a fair comparison to make. I mean, say Silvio and Polly wanted to... I feel like it might be different at a certain age, right? Like for Polly, because he is probably getting to the age where he could call it quits. Like, but then how does it work? Can you retire for this life? I mean, we've clearly seen with Uncle Junior that he doesn't want to retire for this life.
It's almost like the only thing that retires you is death.
Yeah. Yeah, or prison. But I mean, could Tony not relate to Eugene? Got a family, wants out of that life. But again, I mean, what is the correct way for Eugene to go about it? He reveals the fact that he got 2 million inheritance, right? Gives Tony a bunch of watches, then gives him a brown envelope. How much should be in the brown envelope to convince Tony? But say you give him $500,000 and it still doesn't convince him. That's you 500k down. At the end of the day, it's just a big fat slob, but you could tell, you know what?
Yeah,
actually,
I know it. You can't be doing that. Like, if you're gonna give him the 500k, then it needs to be a yes. Or you need to know the answer.
But I think Eugene handled it wrong, right? I know we're not here to talk about him ratting or whatever. We're simply here to talk about Tony's decision. But at the funeral, should he really have pressed Tony about it? But I think it just shows you that Tony puts it on the back. Tony doesn't give a shit about it, man. Eugene can go. If Eugene was a jobber member, he'd probably be like, "Guy, I'll let you go." But at the same time, I mean, I guess Tony's thinking in the back of his head, there's so many rats floating about. Why does he want to leave? Does he potentially want a rat? But a guy that's actually got blood on his hands and committed murder for the mob, is he really going to snitch? Potentially not. But I think it's time to move into the comments. For me, should Tony have let him go? Why not, man? He handed him a lot of money and customised watches. And he was a decent member. But then that's the flip side of it. He's a decent member. Don't want to lose that.
Family, though, is the guy not allowed to move on? Is Tony not got a heart?
He does have a heart, but does he though? Does he have a heart?
But then, does that maybe show that he got into it for the wrong reasons and his heart really wasn't in it? If Eugene was willing just to bail as soon as he got a bit of money?
True. And it's not like is it? No, I don't get though, right? I mean, it's not a good life because as they pointed out throughout the episode, like Eugene's been on edge thinking he could be the next one to go to jail. But it's like, as Tony said, you signed an oath, and I know I agree with Tony. Fuck it. Why should Eugene get out? We're not talking about the Boy Scouts here. We're talking about the mob, organised crime. Nah, I'm actually gonna go with the 15%. Fuck it. That wee picture of Eugene hanging there, I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad to see Eugene take his life, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you agree to do this. It's supposed to be like a brotherhood, and it almost like would suggest that he was only in it to make money. Because as soon as he got money, he just wanted to leave.
No intention.
So yeah, I actually agree with the 15%.
Or 15%ers the day. But how many comments did we get? We got 2.
I think it'd be different if there was a genuine. See if it was like Tony, I love my wife and she doesn't want this anymore, and I want to save my marriage, and I think that's different.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But Mark R says he was an informant, so that would have brought the investigation to a close sooner. I don't know, man. See this? Eugene was an informant pish. Are we supposed to believe that if Tony lets him go to Florida, then the investigation on Tony's cruise put to bed because Eugene provides this crucial bit of information. Look at Raymond Curtle. Provided hee-haw over the course of decades, why did Eugene have like the final say? I'm not convinced. I'm not even convinced he was a rat prior to this episode. I think it's poor writing, honestly. It's so indecisive. See, for a show that they bam up about, oh, it's inch perfect, man, you need to look into it, double dip, all that stuff. I think Eugene was dipping in the wrong place. He was dipping in a dip with no dip.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced he was a long-term rat, but yeah, we'll never know.
But even the dialogue between them doesn't make any sense. But we've got a comment for James Toner. Top man. Channel legend James Toner. He may have been a rat, but I think the way Eugene went out was tragic. You can tell he desperately wanted to get out and go to Florida with his wife and family. I think Tony would have let him go, but I understand it completely. Once you join the mafia, you're in it for life. Only ways out are ratting or whacked. If Eugene did get to Florida, it would have been the counterpart storyline with Fito's gay storyline. Well, I'll tell you what, that's what I'm looking forward to this season. Is it a damning truth about season 6 of Sopranos that I think the best storyline is Fito's gay storyline? Who knows? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm big Fito. I want to see how that turns out.
Big Fito. Finn, prepare your ass, Finn. Anyway, till then, peace.